Slimehouse TV, myself Theo Kane, hope everybody is good, big up everybody that's supporting and hold tight everyone that's locked in. So, little bit of an impromptu video today, and I say little bit, but the thing that I'm going to be showing you is far from little. Look at the size of this box. But I just finished filming all the talking head stuff for the last studio video that I just dropped, and I got a knock at the door just as I'd finished, and it was this thing. Now, this has been sent to me by my friends over at Tolzar Toys in Louisiana, all the way over in America, and they told me that they were sending me this like a couple of days ago, and it's arrived already, so I couldn't believe how quick it got here. Kind of blew my mind how quick it got here, but it didn't blow my mind nowhere near as much as this toy did when I first saw it on their Instagram. So a little bit of backstory. I'm scrolling through Instagram, and I see this thing that's absolutely magnificent. I'm big into crustaceans and crawfish and crabs and lobsters and that kind of thing. I used to keep pet crustaceans. I had the dopest rainbow crab. I had a really cool crayfish called Kratos because I saw it in a pet store and it was in a tank all on its own, and I felt really sorry for it, and I said, what's the deal with this crayfish? Why is he all on his own? And they said, well, everything that we put him in a tank with, he killed. So I called him Kratos. I said, put him in a tank. He's coming home with me, and I loved him and looked after him for years, and they were some of the best pets that I ever had. So when I saw this Sofubi, I was like, yo, that's a little bit of me. So we got talking over on Instagram, found out that he's a fan of my channel and that he wanted to send me one of these. So obviously I was like, hell yeah, that would be awesome. I love this thing. I will 100% feature it in a video when it arrives, and it just arrived now. So forgive me if this video isn't very scripted or anything like that, but I didn't want to leave this thing sat in a box and wait for the right time to unbox it in a video. I was like, yo, this thing's here. I need to look at this thing right here, right now. It's also huge as well, apparently, and it's so big that they have to post it disassembled. So this is something that we're actually going to have to assemble in the video. We're going to have to actually put this thing together. Also, straight away, they've sent me a t-shirt. Buzzing with that. You know, whoa, he's got a skull on it as well. So these also own a tattoo studio. The guy that sent me this, he owns his own tattoo studio out in Louisiana. The whole studio looks like such a vibe. It's got vintage toys and cool Americana decor and stuff everywhere. Like, definitely the kind of place that I would like to go get a tattoo at. So that must be from his studio, so big ups to him for that. That's amazing, I love that. Okay, here it is. Whoa, check the header card on this thing. Hang on, let me get it out. So check this bad boy. It's so heavy. This must have cost a fortune to ship, man. Thank you so much. Like, it doesn't go unnoticed how much you put into the effort of sending me this thing. So, look at it. It comes in like a bag, like a sack of potatoes, like it's food. And I suppose to some people it is food, but never me. I would never eat a crawfish or a crab or a lobster or anything like that. Never, ever, ever. I love them too much. So, he also said that it comes with some kind of instructions. There's some cloth in there as well. So, I'll get it out of the bag and we'll have a look at the instructions and we'll see about how we put it together. Let me just tip it out. So what we got here? Like a cool little flannel flag hanky thing. Look at that. That's a vibe. And this looks like the instructions of how to put him together. Oh, this artwork is pure fire as well. Check that. Some proper like Bernie Wrightson style black and white inked artwork there of the crawfish destroying stuff. Summoning your messiah. Tolzar Toys. King Krawju. So that's his name. King Krawju. What a dope fitting name for such a dope Sofubi. Oh, it comes with a little person. It comes with a little miniature. So that's there. Oi. That's that little guy. Little girl. Little person. So this is weird because it ticks all the boxes for me. Dope action figure. Crustacean. Kaiju. Sofubi. Warhammer miniature style bits. Look at the size of this thing. That's just it. This thing is ginormous. This might be the biggest Sofubi that I own. Now I'm just going to have a quick look at these because no doubt I need to get my heat gun out or like put them in hot water or something and stick them all together. So I'll film that separately and then come back to the video, come back to the talking head stuff when I've actually got him all set up because yeah, this is going to take a bit of work to put this thing together. So upon receiving this from Tolzar, I'd never put a Sofubi together before. As I mentioned when I was opening it, because of the size of this thing, he has to be shipped in parts to keep the cost down, which is fine for me because I love building stuff. I'm all about learning new skills, and I also think there's a different kind of connection that you have with something when you've had to put it together or half create it yourself. So I was more than up for the challenge. I got everything laid out, I got my heat gun, and started trying to put together my King Krawju, or as Tolzar would call it, summon my messiah. Now where Tolzar lives, in New Orleans in Louisiana, there's a big culture of crawfish fishing. These things are like a staple dish out there. So he told me after that the bag that this thing came in is actually the same kind of bag that you would receive your crawfish in if you was going to take them home to eat them. Which is also a cool little detail and just another reason why I think it makes sense that this thing arrives the way that it does and why you have to put it together yourself. And I can't lie, it's oddly satisfying to heat the vinyl up with the heat gun, watch it go really soft and malleable, and then push these little horns and spines through it. It's weirdly gratifying. It was also really good to be able to build a Sofubi myself, being someone that spends a bit of time walking in the world of Sofubi and having a decent collection of it now. I know how it's made and how it's all put together. I've been around a lot of different Sofubi makers at ToyCon, I've spoken to lots of people that make toys out of soft vinyl, and I have had a hand in Sofubi production before for stuff that other people have made and that kind of thing. And if you know me, you know that I'll have always asked lots of questions about how stuff is created and what materials that they use. So I do like to think that I know a decent amount about slush moulding and soft vinyl toys and all that kind of toy creation. But being able to do it firsthand definitely gave me even more of a better understanding about how the material works, and as I started to fix together the final pieces, I was really excited to see it all finished.
So it's been about a week now since this thing were delivered to my house, and at the time I was just unboxing it and spitballing whatever thoughts came into my head as I was seeing it for the first time. But I've now had a chance to process putting it together and that kind of thing, so I wanted to give my thoughts on it now that it's been in my possession for a while. So first of all, the detail on this thing is absolutely incredible. I know a lot of people like their Sofubi a lot like smoother and more simplistic in style and that kind of thing, and as much as I love that kind of toy, this is my favourite when there's much more going on, when there's lots of different details and textures and surfaces. I've mentioned this a few times as well, but he's absolutely huge. He's easily by far one of the biggest Sofubis now that I own in my collection, and that also means that this thing must have cost a pretty penny to put together. I know a lot of people that work in Sofubi, a lot of people that have made Sofubi. I've had a hand in creating Sofubi myself before, and I know that although you can negotiate the prices of these things down a little bit with some of the Chinese factories and stuff, this thing must have still been a real high-end piece to produce. Not only because of its size, but just because of how many individual little pieces it's made up from, all of which will have had to have had separate molds made, and Sofubi is just an all-round very expensive and intricate process to create anyway. So taking all that into account, it just makes this whole thing that bit more impressive. Now this guy is currently being produced in 3 different colours. There's an awesome marble effect one that will have been done in a similar way to what we did the Turgo action figures. It involves like dumping colours in the mould and then pouring them out and then pouring another one in and swishing them around to create a marble effect. There's also a really nice crystal one that almost looks like it's made of glass that looks beautiful if you're just displaying it and shining a light through it, but is also always a winning combination when you hit it with some transparent paint as well. And then there's this like peachy muscle figure flesh tone version which looks really nice on its own, but after speaking to Tolzar, there's also a way that you can paint it that makes it look even more awesome. So Tolzar Toys is basically made up of 2 different people. There's Michael Bogle, who is the guy that designed this, and then his friend Grant Cross that sculpted it. So after receiving this thing, I was just talking to Michael a little bit on video call, and it turns out that he's got a background in resin statue painting. Now traditionally, when you paint Sofubi, it's often done in a simple style. It looks like it came off a production line. It's intricate and stuff, but it's in a much more simplistic style than what you would be doing if you were painting resin statues. But what Michael does is, because he's got a background in that, he brings this style of painting to these that just is mind-blowingly effective. A technique that he's kind of taught me how to do now. So as much as I do like the way that this thing looks in this one solid colour, the way that it looks when it's painted is too awesome not to at least try it at some point. Speaking of Michael as well, he also made a video that helps guide you through how to put your Krawju together if you decide to get one for yourself. It's a very helpful step-by-step guide and was invaluable when it came to building this thing. And not only just putting this guy together, but also putting together Sofubi in general, which if you're someone like me that may or may not be dipping his toes into the world of creating his own Sofubi very soon, is invaluable. But I'll talk about that in a different video because I've already said too much. But just back to Michael for a second, I just want to say a massive thank you to him for sending me this thing. I really, really do love it. And if you know me, you know how much of a fan of Sofubi I am. I love to go to Japan and hunt down toys for my collection. I'm around a lot of Sofubi creators. I go to Toy-Con every single year. I'm just around a lot of people that create Sofubi, so I've built an awesome collection of it. But not for nothing, not saying it lightly, this is honestly probably my new favourite Sofubi that I own now. And considering all the things that I love about this figure and everything that I've spoke about in this video today, I really do think that this is like the pinnacle of Sofubi perfection. Now, if you wanted to find out a little bit more about Sofubi, then I dropped a video last year that covers it in a bit more depth. I showcase a lot of my collection in it, and I also show some of the process and that kind of thing. So it'll just be helpful to go back and watch that if you wanted to find out a little bit more about it. I'm also the official videographer of Toy-Con UK, which is the biggest vinyl toy show in England. So I cover that every year. I'll drop some of them videos down in the comments below. And then also, completely by chance, yesterday, one of my favorite YouTubers, Craftsman, did a video all about Sofubi, documenting it, talking through the process of how it's created and that kind of thing, and also just talking about why it is so special. So if you wanted to find out a little bit more about Sofubi and Japanese toy making and that kind of thing, you can go on a whole deep dive. If you enjoyed this video today, please don't forget to give it a like. Let me know what you thought about today's video. Are you a Sofubi collector? Has today's video twisted your arm and made you want to check out a little bit more Sofubi? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll also put all my social media handles down in the description below, and maybe even some of my favourite Sofubi creators so you can go and check them out. If you've got a piece of Sofubi that you'd like to send me to have a look at, then feel free to hit me up on either Instagram or Discord. There's also a thread on my Discord called Sofubi Showcase where people talk about Sofubi all the time. Another great place to go if you want to chop it up with some people and ask some questions about Sofubi. But in the meantime, I just want to say a massive thank you to Tolzar again. I really do appreciate this piece. I really love it. And like I said, not for nothing, it's probably my favourite Sofubi piece in my collection now. And I look forward to trying that paint job on it in the future. So I've got lots of videos coming out that you can look forward to. This was just a very impromptu one this week. So I think I'm actually dropping 2 videos this week. So keep a lookout for them. I'm off toy hunting with Retro Ghetto and Kev and the Ghetto Gang and Bentlegs, toy hunting, and then to a retro game fair at the end of this week. So if you're going to Leeds Retro Game Market, please come and say hello. But as I always say, I'm Theo Kane, this is Slimehouse TV, and until the next video, I'm gone.